Welcome to the Call of Duty Championship Asia Pacific Regional Final presented by Xbox. I'm in Maniac and we're coming at you live from Sydney, Australia. The teams we'll be seeing competing today have put in blood, sweat and tears to prove they are the best gamers in the region. Today, we'll be seeing the top 8 teams from Australia, New Zealand and Asia compete for the title of APAC Champions and a share of $15,000 in prize money. Of course, the top 3 teams will earn their spot at the Call of Duty World Championships in LA, where the top 32 teams from around the world will compete for the title of World Championships and, of course, the $1 million prize pool. There isn't anyone who knows more about the Call of Duty World Championships than iJustine Izeric, who we're thrilled to have as our special guest today. Hi, Justine. Thanks very much for joining us. How are you liking Sydney so far?
So this is my first time in Australia, and obviously to be here for Call of Duty makes it even that much cooler, and it's an amazing place. I love it.
Well, we're thrilled to have you here. Let's have a look at the competition now, though. It is a completely stacked competition here with our top 8 teams. Who do you think we should be keeping an eye on today?
I mean, last year at 2014 Call of Duty Championships, I think everyone was really shocked to see T1 Daughters place 5th. So I've definitely got my eye on them, but I've also heard a lot about Mindfreak. And I mean, there's so much competition here, so it could be anyone's game. It's
going to be very tough and exciting for all our viewers and our teams, I'm sure. Now, with that said, what are you going to be up to for the next couple of weeks?
So obviously the road to Call of Duty Championships it's starting here, and I'm really excited because we're going to be doing a world tour. We're going to be going to London, to Paris, to Ohio, to Chicago, and really get a sense of all of the teams around the world and get to chat with everyone. So it's going to be really fun.
It sounds really exciting. You look pumped. I'm pumped. Guys at home, make sure you follow Justine on her Instagram and Twitter. And for all of the action from the Asia Pacific Regional Final presented by Xbox, make sure you're following that Twitter, Call of Duty _ANZ. Now, the journey to the Call of Duty Championships isn't over, and there's a long way to go. So let's take a look at how these teams have made it so far. In Australia Qualifier number 1, we saw Trident taking out the first spot for a regional anywhere in the world. Following them, we had Mindfreak and Exile 5 T1 rounding out our first qualifier. Day number 2, Australia Qualifier number 2, we saw Integral and Avant-Garde rounding out our top 5 Australian teams. Across the water, and our friends in New Zealand, they've put out XS IG to claim that New Zealand spot. And our 2 Asian teams, we of course have Nub and Laminar. So they are our top 8 teams from the Asia Pacific region. Now let's have a look at the amazing players that make up these rosters. We're going to take a look at Trident first of Maka, Azzy, Envious and Hysteria. Following them was Mindfreak, who got through in a 3-0 fashion. We saw Buzzo, Dens, Fighter and Shocks. Exile 5 T1 were the last team in Australia Qualifier number 1, where we saw Damage, Chilean, Fate and Issei. Integral is going to be our first team in day number 2, where we saw Bundo, Hoju, Quins and Vilesider. And then to round out our top 5 Aussie teams, we had Avant-Garde made up of Hopi, Kui, Dean and Benno. Our New Zealand team, XSIG, is made up of Bakabek, Carrots, Killer Pie, and Zeus. Then our Asian teams, we have Laminar, made up of Truly, Veliate, Benny Boom, and Team. Then Nub is going to round out our top 8 teams in the Asia Pacific region. We have Cypher, Artshot, Axes, and Lucky 7. So there are 8 teams here in the Asia Pacific Regional Final presented by Xbox. Without further ado, let's jump into the action. Taking us into round 1 are our casters, Bioacid and Dr. Curry.